Hey everyone, what's up? This is Will here from Flow Candy. Today I'm breaking down Salt and Stone. This is a really like a sort of a beauty brand, I guess I would categorize them. Their hero product is this is a deodorant, so this is like really their top seller, and I'm really excited to break this down because this is a brand that is a luxury brand or premium, or however you want to categorize them. Again, these deodorants are costing like $20, but they're also over $20, but they're also an omni-channel brand. Um, they sell, I mean, this deodorant does well through their D2C store. It does well in Sephora. It does well on Amazon. It's one of the top deodorants on Amazon, despite being at a more premium price point. When you're already competing with products like Native, which is priced around like $13 and is still owned by, I think they're owned by Unilever or Procter and Gamble, and that is a little bit more premium positioned. And yeah, I mean, basically, this is a business that has been able to catapult to, I think, over $150 million in sales and annual revenue. They have like over 800,000 visitors a month, and the more you dive into this, because it's a luxury brand, because it's also sort of a minimally styled brand. Normally, when you hear these things as an email marketer, you're like, oh, this is probably a very restrictive in what we can do from an email marketing perspective. Like we can't be as aggressive, we can't do as many type of email campaigns or angles or hooks as we call them. We're very limited in the types of emails and hooks we can do. We're very limited in the types of styling we can do in the templates themselves. But the more I dove into this, these guys are actually one of the highest brands I've ever benchmarked. I counted over like 20 or 30 different types of hooks and angles that they're sending. And that's very, very impressive for a luxury brand to be doing, and two, a brand that has, again, that sort of utilitarian minimalist style design. And I'm talking that I've benchmarked tons of brands over the past couple of years, and typically the highest ones I've ever benchmarked are brands like Breeze, the CBD brand, or Recess, the new tropical, or new tropical sort of elevated beverage company. And there's some other like fast moving consumer goods companies or supplement companies I've benchmarked that have I've said, wow, they do email marketing very, very well. But I've never benchmarked a luxury brand that does email marketing this well. So I'm really, really excited to dive into this and show you like all the cool things they're doing. And if you are working, either you work for a luxury brand or you're at an agency working with luxury brands, this is a great way to see. This is a great training to see how you can do email marketing without just sending a bunch of promotional emails. There's all sorts of things they're doing to leverage um, different types of hooks and angles without just discounting their products. Um, Another thing to talk about before I dive in is this also this is a very I would say like they're on a very, very fast moving sort of emerging best practices, you might even want to call it, tech stack. um, First off, they're on Shopify, which most new D2C omnichannel brands are using Shopify, or even legacy brands are migrating to Shopify. But it's not just that. Like they're using Klaviyo, which is the recommended CRM we recommend. As you've been watching any of my videos, you know that um, this is the only CRM for e-commerce that we recommend. But they also use more niche sort of tech tech stack tools. And this tells me that the people that are behind their CRM or their email marketing or their digital e-commerce, whatever you want to call it, like really, really know what they're doing. They're using a loyalty app called Revo, which is really on the cutting edge. Rebuy, another like sort of upselling um, cart enhancement pop-up tool that again is on the cutting edge. Okendo, which is one of the uh, review app that we recommend a lot of these D2C stores use. Black Crow, which is sort of like a retargeting, audience retargeting software, kind of like retention.com. So yeah, they're really on the cutting edge with this stuff. So I'm excited to dive into some of these emails. So let's just talk about what they're doing. I would say It's a very, very good calendar. Um, I about 17 emails a month. Now they flex up, like for example, in November in 2025, they sent over about 30 emails. But 17 emails is a very good campaign calendar. Again, I said I got them at over 20 to 30 different types of angles and hooks they're using, which puts them at like the top of the top from my experience when it comes to email marketing. Um, and yeah, so I'm excited to dive into this. So let's start with January, just off at the top. This is what they sent in January 2025. So already this is sort of an advanced email here. It's build your own set. And you might look at this and you're like, oh, this is just a simple email. Again, coming back to my point of where when you look at these brands that have like luxury, sort of utilitarian, minimalist design, you think you're kind of handcuffed from an email marketing perspective. But if you got to look into the details, you got to just look past the design. You see, build your own set. Okay, there's a little bit more going on here. And especially if you're a beauty brand or some sort of fast moving consumer good brand, these are great emails to send, great hook to use because this helps drive up AOV, average order value. So right off the bat, you're seeing like a little bit more of an advanced email. Looks simple, build your own set, but there's a little bit more going on here. Um, Again, this is a product focused email, and then they layer in social proof and they sort of cross sell down at the bottom. Standard operating procedure for like a product based email. Another thing that I like that they do across their calendar in 2025 is they send text based emails, which I love to see. Now, a lot of luxury brands, a lot of brands that feel like they're elevated, a lot of times are like, we don't want to send text based emails or like just simple HTML emails without any images or anything like that. It's off brand. But from my experience, these text based emails are everyone should be doing them. I don't care if you're luxury, non-luxury, what niche, what vertical you're in, e-commerce, non-e-commerce, like everyone should be sending these types of emails. Why? Well, first off, from a workflow perspective, they're just easier to build. Okay. Like you don't need a designer to build this. A lot of times you can just build this email in like 5 minutes or less. So super easy to build. And then when you go and look at the KPIs, and again, the one thing about these breakdowns is I don't have Salt and Stone's KPIs in front of me. I don't know what their open rates are, their click-through rates, their spam rates, their placed order rates, like how much revenue they're actually driving from their CRM or email marketing program. But from my experience working at Flow Candy, being co-founder of Flow Candy, working with hundreds of brands, a lot of times you can see you look at these text-based emails and you'll see that the KPIs are often just the same, sometimes even better than the heavily designed sort of D2C type style emails that a lot of people think perform better, but sometimes they actually don't. So highly encourage these text-based emails. Here's another more advanced one, gift cards. Again, like just showing that they have a little bit more elevated thought process into their product catalog. And again, so they're doing that. Another product-based email. Another thing I like that they do is they do like a lot of routine building, which I think is really good. I mean, really any beauty brand, any supplement brand should be doing these. These are good angles. Another thing that I love that they do, and this especially if you're a luxury brand, um, you know, introducing scarcity into any marketing sales campaign is an effective way to boost conversion rates. Now, most brands, especially in DTC, are just like, hey, here's a 15% off discount code. It expires in 48 hours or something like that. And you'll see that that's sort of a common hook. But a lot of luxury brands are like, we don't want to do that. That's gimmicky. So what they do, and especially if you're working at a brand or you're an agency working with a brand that has a hero product that really is a bestseller and often sells out, like the Salt and Stone deodorants, they use that. They bake this into you'll see this almost every month. They're using these types of emails where, hey, this frequently sells out, or if it does sell out, they'll send like a back in stock email. So again, it's a great way to add scarcity into your email marketing campaigns without like necessarily compromising the brand with like discounts or something like that. And again, the internet's favorite deodorant. So this is another, like, you could call it social proof, you could call it scarcity. Um, Another thing they do very, very well is, when they launch a product, okay. So we always tell this when we're working with clients, say, hey, when you're launching a product, this is like a product launch strategy. Okay, you need like a series of 5, maybe even 10 emails to launch this product. And what they do very, very well with their product launch, and they do this also like during heavy promotional periods, is their first email is normally it's a simple email with that leans into like curiosity. Okay, so this image is like, okay, like, hey, this new product is coming out. It looks like some sort of perfume, but I don't really know. So it's like a very curious sort of hook. That's the curiosity hook they're using there, and then they get people to sign up for SMS. You're wondering, okay, well, why would they want me to sign up for SMS? If it's not obvious to you, typically at these when you look at these big stores, okay, the more richer the profile is, and what I mean by richer, I mean like more details you have on the subscriber or the customer, typically the higher the LTV is. So, and it's common to have like way more email subscribers than SMS subscribers. Okay, so, and what they're doing is they're saying, hey, basically, when we launch this new product, all right, we're going to announce it to SMS subscribers first. Also, keep in mind, a lot of our products sell out a lot, so if you really want this, sign up for SMS. So it's a way to, reward people who sign up for SMS, get richer profiles on people, and really when they drive sales initially and really, well, I guess kind of like promote this new product that's coming out. Again, so very, very advanced tactic there. There's a lot more going on. When you look at this, you just be like, oh, this is just like a simple email. It's just image, like headline one, a sentence, and a button. But when you look at the strategy behind it, there's a lot more going on there. Again, they do collabs. This to me, when I see brands doing collabs, and they're doing collabs all throughout the calendar in 2025, this tells me that they have a marketing department that really knows what they're doing. So when I say collabs, it's like a joint venture with another brand. Why would you want to do that? Well, because it allows you to tap into an audience, like a like-minded audience with another brand, without having to pay a lot in acquisition costs. Okay, like sometimes it's just free. So, they will do a JV with this brand, and they do a big one with Aritza later on in the year. I think, where did I have that, in October, which is a big well-known retailer. But by doing these collabs, like, it really helps. It really allows you to get exposure and traffic to your brand without having to pay these high acquisition costs with like pay-per-click or affiliates or something like that. And also, and why I can tell when brands do this, like why I can tell they got a pretty dialed-in marketing department, is because sometimes this takes like months, if not quarters, to plan out. Skims is one of the greatest brands I've ever seen. They're doing collabs like with celebrities like almost every week. And also with those collabs, they're doing like production runs with these collaborations. And so that takes a lot of planning. You have to line up marketing with operations and fulfillment to do that. It takes time. It's not something you can just do in like a weekend. All right. Especially if you're outsourcing, or if your production is overseas, like Skims. So very, very effective way to drive traffic. Yeah, they do a lot of stuff. And, another thing I love they do is they tend to do these subscribe and save emails, so I don't have access to their Klaviyo account or how they're doing this, but my hunch is they have segments for people that are already on a subscription, and they're kind of like sending these campaigns out to people that are not on a subscription. So highly effective January. Again, like, just a lot more going on than you would think. Moving into February, another thing I like they do is they do these early access type emails around scents, like is finally back. Sign up for early access. Not sure if this goes to an SMS, but they do that. They do a lot of emails around certain times, like coming into February, it's Valentine's Day. In May and April, they're leaning into like Father's Day, Mother's Day. Moving into Christmas, there's a lot of Black Friday stuff that I'll get into. Um, so yeah, they do a lot of like holiday sort of theming without like compromising their design style. Obviously, you get like very cheeky with Valentine's Day, Halloween. You'll see some brands do this, but they don't like the design. The email design system stays consistent pretty much throughout the entire year. Very simple, utilitarian, minimal sort of branding, but they're finding ways to sort of layer in different themes without compromising their brand or their design. So again, this is very, especially if you're a luxury brand watching this that you need to take notes on how these guys do it. It's very subtle, but they do a very, very, very good job. Um, Again, you can see the product launches here. Um, Again, they're just like really, really consistent emails. Um, this is a product launch, last chance for a free gift. Um, this is sort of again, like a they're just using different, like this is a car scent, or I don't even know what you call this, auto fragrance. Like they're selling gift cards, they're selling auto fragrances, they're doing upgrades, for people. It's interesting they do this at the end of the month. They do these like subscriber emails at the end of the month, like to get people to subscribe. I guess maybe they have some data that's when people run out and they need to replenish, but really cool how they do that too. Um, let's move into March. What they're doing. A lot of like new and selling fast. Again, I love how they do this, how they use this. They add that as scarcity, often sold out. Again, just other ways to add scarcity into their email and their copies, copywriting without just saying like, "Hey, here's a 20% off code." Um, so yeah, very very uh, focused. And again, the end of the month, they keep doing these like auto renew emails. Very, very interesting. Subscribe and save type emails. Uh, Moving into April, we get, and this is again, like you see, they're doing retail type emails. This is like what a very good omni-channel brand will do. They'll often try to highlight if they're in Sephora, if they're in Target, if they're in CVS or Best Buy or wherever, Amazon even, I'll see it. They'll sort of try to drive traffic to these retail stores. Again, not everybody wants to. Some people just want to try the products in store, so there's a way to do that. It also shows buyers that hey, you're promoting their store and trying to drive traffic to their store through your own marketing, through your own owned marketing. So that's really good. Another thing they did was they did like let's see if I can find it again. Here's these text-based emails. Um, Again, don't again, it's a text-based email. It's a Sephora savings event. Again, this is the luxury brand. You can see like they're sending very simple text-based emails. Um, this is another curiosity-based product launch email for something new that they're launching. This new neroli and basil. You can see like their whole series of emails around is around this new product launch. Um, you know, uh, when they do discount, it is on when to get people on a subscription. Um, they also do like again, you do this new trying to get people to on that subscribe and save. Um, a lot more product based emails. So again, very thorough in how they approach this stuff. Um, May, again, they do this gift card stuff for Mother's Day. It's also trying to drive people to retail stores. Um, you do see like a very rare sale here in May. Um, this weekend only, 25% off. Um, and I guess that's just for people that get on an auto renew. So it's very, very rare sale from them. Um, moving into June, one of the things they did was loyalty. So again, they're still using the cards and they're mixing it in with around Father's Day, Mother's Day. Um, here's like the first sort of rewards gift type email that you type see that you start seeing just if you share. If you share and get like an affiliate or referral, you'll get $10. Um, see ways to add in scarcity, limited qualities, almost gone. Um, very, very interesting how they do it. Um, let's get into October. Here's like another collab they did. First off, you can see with Charlie Hull. Um, October was another really good collab that I was talking about earlier. Um, as you can see, I think Aritza, it's a retailer. They you know, did this whole line with them. So, again, like it's impressive. It takes time. You can't just like do this over a weekend. You have to line this up with fulfillment. You have to come up with the products. You have to source the products. You have to land the products onshore. Then you can start the marketing. So, um, that's another great way to cross promote your brand. So I love doing collabs. I love seeing brands do joint ventures. Um, doing bundle and saving too as well. Starting already in October, starting to to like ramp up to this holiday, sort of bundling and saving. Get ahead on your gift list without like getting too cheeky with Halloween or the holidays just yet. But you love to see it again. Another text-based email here, um, trying to drive people to this membership program that they have. So again, it looks simple, but it's advanced. Like don't let the design and the brand, the minimal brand, fool a limited copy, like fool you into think that these people don't really know what they're doing from an email marketing perspective. And in November, like things really ramp up. So again, they're averaging 17 emails a month. They ramp up to about 30 in November. Which, if you're watching this and you're unaware, typically a lot of these brands, most retail brands, will make a sizable amount of their revenue during the fourth quarter. Just because it's the holidays, people need gifts. So you'll see, I've seen some brands like 60, 70% of their revenue comes into Q4. So they really ramp it up in November. And they don't get too crazy with it too, which is what I like. Again, they're using gift shop, this sort of like you'll see a lot of brands do this. Like the gift shop is open beginning of November. They're still sending like non sort of holiday type emails during the holiday promotional period. They're still sending, here's like a holiday season offer text based email. Again, you think this is like not that effective, but it is. I mean, this is um, you know, this is actually a text-based email, a promotional text-based email that's around sharing and loyalty. So again, quite advanced. Um, another sort of retailer-focused email. What I thought they did really cool here is they launched their own collection during the holiday period. So it's this sort of I forget what it is. This leather and desert grass. Again, the first email in this product launch is sign up for SMS to get early access. It's very, very like curiosity driven. You're looking at this, you're like, all right, these couple on like a Dodge Ram out in the West, like what is this? What does this even mean? I don't know there's no product here either, it's very lifestyle driven. Same thing with this next email. They sent a reminder to get early access and they finally launched the collection. It's this leather and desert grass. Um, it's collection focused email. Um, again, it's another collection focused email. Then they start leading like with the products, start cross selling. Um, Now we're getting into here mid November. We're getting into prepping for Black Friday, our only sale of the year. This is the only time I think they really give 20% off. Um, 20. I love this hook, 25% off forever. This is obviously anybody who subscribes gets on like an actual paid subscription. Um, Up to 30% off. So maybe they have some products that are 30% off. And you can see like it's still quite minimal, but they've changed the design style a little bit just for the holidays. Um, so I love that. But then they still go back into this text-based type email. I love this hook here, or this headline here. One sold every 6 seconds. It's a great way to show social proof, scarcity, um, for again their hero product that sells really well. One of the only times you'll see a sale. Again, they do another text-based email. Another thing they did too in November is they switched up their hero. So, or they switched up their notification bar. Again, this is like again showing how advanced they are. Normally, the hero bar is like free shipping on orders over $50, but here, just for the holiday season, it's like get a free hand cream on orders over $80. So it shows like a little bit more thought going into their Black Friday, Cyber Monday promotional period. Um, 25% off all new subscriptions, last chance to save. So they're switching it up a little bit. And again, we get into Cyber Monday here because that fell in December this year. But yeah, over 30 emails in November. So it just shows you can ramp up like that if you're a luxury brand. Um, or a premium brand that might do some minor discounting during like the Black Friday, or have like some other types of promos. Again, you don't have to do like a 25% off. They had another offer which was like get free hand cream over $80. So there's other ways to do it than just get X% off. Mystery gift. This is another angle. Again, it just shows they're a little bit more advanced, more text-based emails. Another thing I thought they did pretty well was more text-based emails, gift wrapping. You know, maybe coming back to a previous collab they did in October. This gift wrapping email, really effective. Order today, get delivery by Christmas Eve. So last chance. These sell really well. These do really well. Last chance for fast shipping. And then so we're kind of here towards the week before Christmas, and then they shift into winter hydration, New Year's Eve. It's very luxury too. Like there's a Cartier watch right there. Also leaning into like what is your plan on New Year's? Are you going out? Are you not going out? So I like that hook, sparklers or sweatpants. So yeah, that's basically it. And you can see why when you look at a brand like Salt and Stone, you're like, such minimal design style, such a premium, even luxury position brand. Like they're probably limited in what they can do from an email marketing perspective. But just looking at this, the amount of angles they're using, in like it's over 17 emails a month, flexing up to 30 in November. And I went through and I counted the promotional emails. I mean, under 10%. When we benchmark these brands, we go and look at like we especially with our clients, we'll go look at like where they're at and then what their competitors are at, and we'll benchmark the entire category and be like, hey, like competitor one is sending like 40% of their emails are promotional. Competitor two is like 35%. Salt and Stone, like it's for most luxury brands, it's under 10%, under 15%, and that's what they're at. But a lot of times when you look at these brands that are under 15%, under 10%, they might only send like 5 emails a month. Salt and Stone is, very healthy, 15, 16, 17 emails a month, flexing up during the holiday season to 30 without compromising the brand too much. Or discounting the products or stuff like that. So very, very, very effective email marketing calendar that we just broke down. Really enjoyed this one. And yeah, stay tuned for the next one. We're always breaking down these brands. This is what we love to do. And I'll see you guys on the next email breakdown.